Hi, it's Verna from Drayton Valley Library here. I am here for the wrap up of our Read Around the World week and also to celebrate that today is World Read Aloud Day. So in for that reason, I'm going to pop my crown on here because it is a tradition for World Read Aloud Day to wear a paper bag crown. Now, if you're wondering how to make one, you can head to our YouTube channel and I posted a video there. There is also a link on our website for the official World Read Aloud Day instructions on how to make paper bag crown, but I found that it didn't quite work for me because I think it was meant for those bigger paper bags and I just have the lunch bags. So basically what I did is I took the lunch bag, so it used to be a lunch bag. I cut off one side of it and then I folded it over and taped it up so that is a little bit stronger on the base. And then I just folded it up and chopped some points for the crown. And this way you can just then wrap it around your head and make a size that fits. If I made it the other way, my head is not that small. So anyways, get your reading crown ready and then you will be ready for World Read Aloud Day. So welcome to those of you who have joined us today. And I want to thank the guests that we've had throughout this week. So Read Around the World Week started on Family Literacy Day, which was last Wednesday. And I have a little PowerPoint here that I have prepared and hopefully will successfully share with you as we're doing, so much technology through Zoom and through Facebook and PowerPoint and everything. But here we go. I'm going to show it to you. So I think it should be showing to you. So we want to thank our volunteer readers that we've had throughout this week. Different members from our community and one not from our community, but related to me. So we'll thank, and we traveled across the globe going to different continents. So I want to thank Kathy Henley, who read us our story, The People of 12,000 Winters, which was representing North America. You may also notice that I tried to kind of go through time a little bit, so this was one of the oldest settings for the books, and most of our books ended up being true stories, so that was kind of neat. Okay, the next day we had Isaiah Morrison, that's the one who's related to me, he's my nephew, who was reading us Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom. This was representing the continent of Africa. And it was kind of neat because, of course, Nelson Mandela has a long version of this book, an adult version, but there was one officially made for kids. And then we had the country of Europe, and Crystal Szerzisco read for us Surviving the Hindenburg, which was representing Europe. And Crystal is a librarian here at Drayton Valley Libraries. Then we had Leah Sanderson, who lots of folks know in our community, and she read for us the true story of Jadav Piang, the boy who grew a forest, and that story was representing Asia. I love these books when they have young people who make such a difference in the world. It doesn't matter if you're young, you can still do big things. Well, he kind of did it throughout his life, but you can get started when you're young too. Then we had Ariel Leslie, who came and read for us Life on the Ice, and this was about Antarctica. I actually had quite a hard time finding a book specifically about Antarctica, so this one did talk about the North Pole as well as the South Pole. But Ariel Leslie is a radio personality on our local radio station, Big West Country. That was fun. I got to meet with her. And we had Chantel Holmgren, who came and read Living in Australia for us, which of course is about the continent of Australia. Chantel is a librarian at Breton Elementary. And we had the big boss here at the library, our director, Doug Whiston Smith, read for us Ada's Violin, the story of the recycled orchestra of Paraguay. And this was representing the continent of South America. I know Doug had a good time getting to read a story. And then there's yours truly. Oh, look, the crown is there again. Now, something that I learned about the continents that I didn't know before is that there's a couple countries that are located in more than one continent. And so I called those intercontinental. So I read a book called Swan, The Life and Dance of Anna Pavlova. She was from one of the countries, Russia, that is intercontinental, and she also did travel around the world. So I thought that was quite appropriate. So that is our lineup that we had for this week. And you can still find those stories on our YouTube channel to enjoy. If you head to the playlist that is called Story on Request, that's where I located them. Our YouTube channel is called DVLibrary Programs. All right, so that is what was going on. Now, today is a special day. As I said, is World Read Aloud Day. So some of you may not have heard of this before. So I thought I would just read you a little bit of the information that I got right off the website. So this day has been put together by an organization called Lit World. And so what is it? It was founded by Lit World. It's an international advocacy day celebrated by over 170 million people worldwide. Why do we do this? Well, storytelling creates connections among people, and communities that exchange stories and engage in reading aloud together become stronger and show improved family health, nutrition, civic engagement, and participation in the labor market. How do we do this? So this is what are we supposed to do anyways? Read aloud and tell stories on World Read Aloud Day, wherever you are. And you can visit their website. They suggest for ideas on how to celebrate, and we have a lot of their links on our website as well. And when does this happen this year? It's today, but it's annually on the first Wednesday of February. And here are some reasons to celebrate. So this kind of gets you to the gist of why are we doing this. So it's a combination, it's a celebration, of oral storytelling, which is a tradition. It's an ancient tradition, right? I was thinking about this last night. So even before we had computers, before even sometimes there was paper and pencils and pens to write things down, how did people know the stories or that their ancestors knew, their grandparents? It was by just telling it out loud, right? So that's kind of what World Read Aloud Day is celebrating. And it's an opportunity to support diverse stories and authors. So we get a very multicultural type of feel to this day. And it's also an opportunity to advocate for literacy as a foundational human right. So that just gives you a little idea what this day is all about. And so one part of World Read Aloud Day is to read out loud. And that's what I just did. And another part of World Read Aloud Day is some storytelling. So I've got a couple storytelling activities that World Read Aloud Day suggests, and I can give you a little sample of each. And then you can give those a try if you would like. I'd hoped I'd have some people to join me today to maybe try it, but everybody's pretty busy, I guess. Anyways, you can try this at home. Now, one of the things is called A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words. And the directions for that you can find on Lit World's website, also on our website as well. I put a link to them there. So I'm going to share with you a picture that I found, because the idea of this activity is you look at a picture and then you tell a story based on the picture. So now mine's written down, so I'll be reading it out to you because I actually made it up the other day to share with our You Think Book Club. We did this activity there. In fact, I've got a story from them to show you in just a little bit. Okay, so let me find this picture so that I can share it with you. All right, it's always fun when we're live, hey, because, oh, I know what happened. I've got the Facebook window open, and that's why I can't see where the picture is, but I found it now. Okay, here we go. So, oh, you're probably seeing, not sure if you're seeing the whole thing. Anyways, I found this picture online here, which I thought was kind of interesting. And, there's a girl in the jar, and how did she get there? So here's what I came up with. Keep in mind, I did this pretty quick. Now, when you do this as an activity, you can choose to write it down or you can choose to just say it out. But usually you give yourself a little bit of time to think through because you want to make it like an actual story with a beginning and a middle and an end and everything. So here's my story. There once was a girl who loved animals, which sounds like a great thing to do, and it usually is. The problem for this girl was that it was a selfish kind of love. The girl loved what animals could do for her, but she wasn't too concerned about what she could do for the animals. The girl liked to go out in the forest and find new animals to bring home. When she brought the animals home, she always put them in a cage until she wanted to spend time with them. That was the only time she let them out of their cages. She fed them and gave them water, but didn't always do a super great job of cleaning their cages. And since she had so many animals, they didn't get out of their cages very often because it always seemed to be someone else's turn. One day, the animals were complaining about their situation, which they often did, when a bird piped up to say, "Well, why are we always complaining about it? Why don't we do something about it?" "What can we do?" the other animals asked. "Give her a taste of her own medicine," the bird replied. "What does that mean?" the animals wondered. "Put her in a cage instead of us," the bird stated. The animals were puzzled as to how that was possible. The girl was so much bigger than they were, and she only let one of them out of a cage at a time. But the bird had a plan. When the bird used to live in the forest, the bird had made friends with a unique creature who had the ability to change sizes. "If I could get the girl to change sizes and become smaller, then I would have a chance at caging her," the bird responded. "But how can I reach my friend for help?" As luck would have it, the bird did not have to wonder long. After a few days, a new arrival appeared in the girl's possession. It was the bird's friend, the pufferfish. When the girl was not there, the bird had a chance to talk to the pufferfish. "She may seem nice, but she's really not," the bird explained. "We are stuck living in these cages when we should be roaming free in the forest." The pufferfish asked some more questions about their situation and was about to despair himself when Bird said, "But you can help." "How?" asked the pufferfish. "You must be able to change the girl's size. You are always changing your own size," said the bird. "But I've never changed anyone else's size," the pufferfish protested. "Have you ever tried?" asked the bird. "No, that's a good point. Okay, I'll see what I can do," said the pufferfish. The pufferfish pondered and experimented whenever he could until he settled on the right method. "I must bite her when I am big, because when I am big, I have the power to become small." It was decided. The next time the girl came to see the pufferfish went for it. He knew he would not have the chance very often. The pufferfish puffed himself up as big as he could go and bit that girl right on the finger. Then the pufferfish shrunk himself and watched the girl shrink too, right before his very eyes. The tiny girl was probably screaming, but they could not hear her. Her voice was tiny too. The animals were very surprised at the success of this plan. But wait, now who would feed them? No one could free themselves from their enclosures, and the tiny girl was getting away. The animals began to complain again, until they saw the mice. They had never seen the mice before, but there they were, marching the girl to the middle of the room. "What should we do with her?" the mice squeaked. "Lock her up," the animals cried. The mice looked around and found an empty glass jar. "This will do," the mice said.
So they put her in the jar and put the lid on. "Let us out," the animals cried. So the little mice scurried around, opening cages. The bird asked the mice, "Why haven't we seen you before?" "Are you crazy?" retorted the mice. "Who would show themselves with that creature on the loose?" And the mice pointed at the glass jar. "But now that she's locked up, it's safe to show ourselves." All the animals fled from the house and went back to the forest, all except for the bird. "It's your turn now," the bird said to the tiny girl. And the bird rolled the glass jar out into the forest. "We'll keep you in here so we can look at you whenever we want, and when it's time for some fun, we'll let you out." And that is how the tiny girl came to be trapped in a jar. Maybe I should have said, and that is how the girl came to be tiny and trapped in a jar. But there you go. That is my little story that I came up with looking at that picture. So you can find any picture that you want. You could even draw a picture, give it to someone else, and have them tell a story about it. Could be pretty interesting. So another activity that was suggested by Lit World for World Read Aloud Day is called It Happened to Me. And what they did for this is they have a few different sentences or scenarios kind of. And so I wrote them down on pieces of paper. Then you just put them in a container and you draw it out, you read it, and then everybody takes a moment maybe because they might have to think about it, but then they share something from their own life that applies to it. So I'm going to read some of these for you and I'll do one for you. So this is called, "This was a time you were incredibly excited." So you could probably come up with some of your own times to write down on these as well, but these are the ones that they suggested. "A time when you were incredibly happy." "A time you learned an important lesson." Two more. Oh, that's the one I'm going to share with you, so I'll read that one to you in just a second. "A time you discovered something new about yourself or about the world." I thought about answering some of those because I've learned a few things about the world this week. But the last one I have here is this: "A time you were very scared." So I'm going to share one of these with you. And if you want to send me your story, that would be great. I'd love to read it. So "A time I was scared when I was little." How little was I? Might have been about grade 3, grade 2, something like that, maybe. Anyways, it was 1986. You can do the math if you want. Now, the reason I know this is because I went to Expo 86, which was in BC. And that was World Exposition, right? So it was different things from around the world were there on display for people to look at. So it was a really, really big event. Think like a fair or a carnival, but just really big with lots of people. And I was there. That was great. I was with my family and I thought I was following my mom around. But then the lady I was following turned around and that was not my mom. And none of the rest of my family were anywhere nearby to be seen. So yeah, I think I was probably about grade 2 now that I think about the math a little bit. And I was scared for sure. And I cried. There were so many people around and I didn't know. But fortunately, there was a nice lady there who saw me crying and asked me what was the matter. And I told her and she's like, "Okay, we're just going to stay right here because probably your mom will come back where she was when she's looking for you." So that's what we did. I stayed right there with the lady and my mom did come back and find me. But that was a very scary moment for me and I still remember that all these years later. Okay, so that is the It Happened to Me storytelling activity. Now there's one more that you can do, and I think I have an explanation of it in this video that I am about to show you here. And these are the young people from one of our book clubs. And we did this story activity. It's called Story in the Round. So let's share it with you. Keep in mind, we're just making this stuff up on the spot. So it might be a little goofy, but you know, it's fun. All right, one sec here. Make sure I share the sound with you. And we should be ready to go. What I have for us today is something called Story in the Round. So I have something here that was like natural. Okay. So we played something like this before, some of us, I think, where it's just a continuing story and everybody gets to add a little part to the story. So these are just suggestions for what you can do with your stuff. So basically, we are starting. We're going to start with this. Once upon a time, you're going to tell us something to start the story. And the next people taking turn might want to start with things like then, so it's and, but, next, so after that, and come back. So you can pick any of those things. It doesn't have to be in that order, or you don't even have to say that, but it's just a way to get you started. And then when it's time to finish, somebody says finally, and then they sum up the whole thing of the story.
Okay, once upon a time, Terry the turtle was walking by the pond when he saw a banana. He picked up the banana and handed it to his best friend, pulling the pollywog. Wanted to eat the banana, but when he tried to open the banana, it turned out to just be a banana peel. The banana peel was named after a stranger called Charlotte. And Charlotte was 5 years old, and for her 5th birthday party, she got a yoga mat. Use that yoga mat to help her swim.
When Charlotte the girl was swimming, someone came by the pool and slipped on Charlotte the banana peel.
And pulling the pollywog was the one who slipped on Charlotte the banana peel, and Polly fell into the pool. Then Polly the pollywog found another pollywog and they decided to happily ever after take the banana peel home with them as a memento to them meeting. He was sad and lonely, so he went out to search for a new friend. And he meets a little bug that is on his way to school. Then that bug gets squashed, and Katie starts crying.
Mr. and Mrs. Pollywog were walking Charlotte the banana, and they came across Terry the turtle, who was crying.
And they decided that they didn't like Terry the turtle anymore, and they just walked by and ignored him.
This is a sad story.
Finally, they all went back to their homes and cried to their moms about it all. The end.
Okay, yeah, still makes me laugh, you know, because Yeah, it got sad there. But anyways, you can do that. And whoever wants to end it just has to say finally, and that's the end. And that's how it goes. Okay, so I have one more thing to show you and then one more thing to tell you. So the thing I would like to show you, well, it's actually a couple things, are some books from the library that you could take out that are related to the world. And then what I'm going to tell you at the very end is how you can win some book prizes for yourself by participating in World Read Aloud Day. So until the end of this week, we will have some of these books here at the library, and you just need to contact us if you would like to take them out for yourself. These have been brought in from different libraries, a lot of them. Now, if you don't manage to catch us before we send them back to the other libraries, you can always just place a hold on the copy yourself through our track system. So I have two that are Colors of the World, Blue Planet. This is Life in Our Oceans and Rivers. And here's the other Colors of the World, Green Planet, Life in Our Woods and Forests. Those look interesting. This one I'm kind of excited just came in. This is how we do it. It's called One Day in the Lives of 7 Kids from Around the World. That's great for learning how other people live. Here's another one, Hidden Wonders, a guide to the planet's wildest, weirdest places. I have a few here that are from Lonely Planet, so I'll show you those ones all together. Lonely Planet Kids. Here's another one, Seek and Find Cities, a globe-trotting adventure. Lonely Planet Kids has This Is My World, meet 84 kids from around the globe. And here is this, oh, that's not our planet, Lonely Planet. I was going to do this first, right? Okay, so Lonely Planet Kids, Amazing World Atlas, bringing the world to life. And one more Lonely Planet, I think, the Flag Book, the amazing stories behind the world's flags. Here's the one I tried to sneak in there. So this is a DK one, Our World in Pictures, Countries of the World. Here's one from Osborne. The Osborne Book of Peoples of the World. And this is a nice one for the young readers. This Is My Continent. So it goes through the different continents. Okay. And then there's a couple that belong to our library that I had picked out. So these, I mean, unless someone else is reading them, are usually available. So these are cool. The worst case scenario, I mean, okay, worst case scenario, that's maybe not happy, but if you ever did choose your own adventure books, these are that style where you get to a certain point in the story and you get to pick what's going to happen next. It says if you pick this, go to that page. If you pick that, go to that page. And so your ending could turn out many different ways depending on the choices you make. So this is Amazon. This one is Deadly Seas. And this one is Everest. I believe there's one called Mars, but I picked out these ones because they're about different places on Earth. This is a really cool board book for the young people, and it actually goes through continents, different continents as well. Follow me around the world, and you can follow these little maps or mazes, that's what I want, with your fingers. It's a board book. Here's a neat one I saw, National Geographic, Little Kids' First Big Book of the World. And the last one I got picked out here, here we are. Notes for Living on Planet Earth. This one is a picture book. All right, so lots of good books. There's even more if you look out there. If you got your library card, you've got access to all sorts of great things. Okay, now, how can you get a prize? How can you participate in World Read Aloud Day? And it's okay if you don't do it exactly today. So if you tell a story out loud, like I just did, or, you know, I used some games, but you can just tell any story. Or if you read a story out loud while wearing your crown, take a picture and get that picture sent to us at the library. You can also, if you're posting it on social media, so you can tag us if you want. We are at DVLibrary. And if you also want to, you can do hashtag World Read Aloud Day, because that's a thing that's out there too. So anyways, if you get that picture sent to us, we will be sending you, or having you come actually, to pick up a free book that we have for you. We have a few books that are have settings, I guess I'll say, in different places of the world. So there's some picture books and chapter books and things like that that we would like to share with you. And that is what I have for you today. I hope you've had a chance to check out the website as well. If you head there and go under programs, special events, you'll see Read Around the World Week, and there's quite a few fun links that are there. And we'll probably keep those up at least until the end of this week as well. Maybe a little longer, we can probably do that. All right, so thank you for joining me today. I hope you have some fun telling some stories, reading some stories, making a crown, taking some pictures. And yeah, we will hopefully see you or hear from you soon. Bye for now.